Everybody, this is Scoots. This is a new thing we're doing now. We're calling it Meet Our Supporters Sunday or Saturday, depending on when you're seeing this. And we sent out some testimonials, and some of the people on Sleep With Me Plus took the time to fill them out. I really appreciate it. We're starting with Ramanda. Ramanda's from St. Louis. Been listening to Sleep With Me 5 years, supporting it for 4. Discovered the podcast and during a really tough time, and started searching online for bedtime stories for adults or a podcast that reads books to you, and stumbled upon this show. And the first time I listened all night long and dozed off, so I knew it would work for me, even though it sounded nothing like I thought I was looking for. Getting back to sleep at night was an important first step, on the road to recovery from what was happening. And since then, I moved across the country, gotten a second graduate degree, landed my dream job, rebuilt my health and finances. And I'm not saying that couldn't have happened without Scoots, but it sure did help knowing I had a reliable tool to rebuild a healthy relationship with a bedtime routine and improve sleep. And why did you support the show? Well, I always wanted to support the show since I learned, it basically relies on listener support, paying for a free podcast. I had to wait till I had a good job with steady income before I could do that. And since then, increasing my level of support has been a financial milestone. And I feel so good knowing that I'm reaching out across the deep, dark night to support other people who need this to be a free resource. What's your favorite episode or memory around the podcast? I like Nuns in Space, Dr. Triangle. The original stories have so much magic for me. I have them saved as playlists since I took the time to learn how to use Pocket Casts on the second year listening to the podcast. I love the weird episodes like Fearless Flyers, Real-Time Recipes, Serial Friends, and I have them saved on a favorites list. My top favorite of all time are the Posty Super Deluxe episodes, particularly Pod of Whales, because whales is my favorite episode, animal, but also like D&D, travel, conferences are huge, relatable to my life. And what would you say to someone who's on the fence about supporting the show? Let's say if you financially could do it, you should try it out for a couple months. There's so many people it helps, and it feels amazing to give back to that. And to Scoots, I'd say thank you so much for sticking with the creative process of writing the stories, the amazing growth process of sticking with it, making the podcast, and continuing to improve it and serve the community as grown up around it. So thank you so much, Ramanda. I couldn't do it without listeners like you. I really, really appreciate it. And meet Ramanda. And if any of that resonates with you, think about supporting the show directly. If you can afford to, and you get a lot out of the podcast, you can support it at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks, Ramanda.